For sure.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. So,
great.
shall I go ahead, Yovika?
Please, sir.
Okay. So, hi everyone. Harneet here. I'm the founder and chief AI officer of Rabbitt AI and Rabbitt Learning. Rabbitt is a London headquartered company backed by big tech players like Nvidia, Meta, Microsoft. Working in a lot of AI spaces, we built world's first SLM, small language model, and we work in various use cases. For example, learning is one of them, then defense, healthcare, building specified AI agents and AI solutions for that. And some of the marquee projects we have done have been in the AI in defense space, where we work with one of the international navies. Now we're working with Indian military as well to build, vision language models, to build models which can help skill people faster, right? And then with governments like Japan, Australia, and now in India with a couple of enterprises to take care of their entire talent transformation strategy with an AI first approach. And that's quickly about myself, and welcome you all on behalf of the AI World Organization. And thanks for taking out time on a Saturday morning, that too in March, specifically in India, which is close. So we all know how many guns are hanging on each one's head, or maybe L&D people are safe. It's CFOs who are the most grilled. I don't know. So yeah, and why we're doing this? So I also quickly give a context about the AI World Organization. So AI World Organization is a community of AI leaders existing in Europe for the past decade, expanding in APAC for the past 2 years, with patrons like Royal Family of Oman, including mine, couple of other players have been at the forefront of wanting AI to reach ground level, grassroots level, but at the same time carrying three charters, which is AI for good, AI for all, and AI for impact. So the organization also takes on a responsibility of ensuring that nobody loses their jobs or work because of AI, and responsible AI leadership is taken care so that we can easily undergo this transformation from AI, from I'll say pre-AI world to the AI world, which is the new normal. So that is what organization stands for, and we organization is doing a series of these roundtables, physical, virtual, both across entire Asia Pacific. Like we did in Singapore, we did in Sydney, Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore. We are also doing a couple of them right in Bangalore. It's happening on 29th March with IIT Alumni Center. Then it's happening in Delhi, 17th April again in IIT Delhi. These are series of events where we are talking of specifically learning in the age of AI, leadership strategies for the future workforce, and how AI is typically transforming learning and development. That's the agenda. And if I quickly tell you the flow, so we'll divide the entire session in three parts where we want to hear from you guys. Specifically, three major problems which we have identified by talking to a lot of enterprises. Number one being how to start pocket. That where to start the skilling journey, the talent transformation journey, and a journey from taking the organization, workforce, people from point A to point B. And first of all, how to identify what is point A and point B. That is one area where I'll definitely seek some answers from you guys, your experiences, and some case studies, right? And this is a forum where we typically go very deep into specific case studies of successes and failures, what is happening in the organization. There's a lot of chat and chatting happening, and with chatting and chat GPT is best. But what exactly is working, doing, where's the ROI? That's where I guess the human leaders come into the picture. So that is one area. Second is how to engage, because in the end we are working with humans, right? We can build the best of product strategies, people, processes, technology, but if engagement is not there, we're not gonna get the right outcome, specifically in the L&D space and workforce transformation team. And third area is how to measure, which is the business, favorite thing. What is the ROI? How do we quantify? So again, some perspectives from some of the leaders in that part. So how to start and where to start, how to engage, how to bring efficiency, number two, and how to measure, how to show ROI, number three. So these are the three broad buckets of an entire, I'll say, leadership strategy for workforce transformation. And eventually, the theme is how to make future ready workforce. So we'll cover a couple of questions and cases and insights on this. This is live streaming session. Couple of people have joined us in the APAC region, and this will also be recorded and used for other purposes. We can share the relevant information which could be shared on a public forum. Uh, and again, once again, welcome. Thanks a lot. I'll pass on to all of you maybe to quickly introduce about yourself. Of course, a lot of you represent the organizations and yourself need no introduction, but typically, very specifically from the angle that your experience and your take on the AI world, you would have seen industrial revolutions, transformation, and read industrial revolutions, transformation, I would say, seen internet revolution transformation or led internet revolution transformation, and now the third revolution, AI revolution, is there. So, would love to hear brief perspective and your intros, and then we'll move to the first part of the session. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll start with the Ritu, the lady in the house. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much, Harmeet, for setting up the context. And first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Pleasure to meet all the leaders and share thoughts with them who are there on the panel and sharing my own insights about the AI skilling. Thankful for that. So I am Ritu Manuja. I have around 25 years of experience all throughout in learning and development. Passionate about upskilling, reskilling people on specifically on next generation technologies like AI, automation, cybersecurity. So I am currently with Tech from last almost 16 years, and from last 4 5 years I am leading the
Really
upskill.
sorry, Ritu, there's some disturbance coming. Is it only for me?
I think there is some background noise.
Is it?
We'll have to mute. No, not from your end. There's someone else, I guess. Maybe others can go on mute when one is speaking.
Am I audible loud and clear now?
Yes.
Sure, sure. So I was saying that I'm with TechM from last 15 plus years and overall having 25 years of experience. With TechM, I am working on AI, automation, cybersecurity, data analytics, cloud and infra, skilling and upskilling across TechM. And before that, I have worked with Infosys as a technical evangelist in education and research team, and also worked for some time in Sintel India Limited. So this is briefly about me, and I am specialized in or focused on driving large-scale learning initiatives to train people, upskill people on AI and next generation skills technologies, and also persona based business outcome based training programs. So this is briefly about me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ritu, and would love to hear at length about your experiences of dealing with large-scale workforce transformation, and specifically in the AI first world, since you come from the IT industry background. So we'll move to Mr. Funny next. Yeah, for your quick intros. Yeah.
Sure, Arnit. Thank you for this opportunity to be here, and it's my pleasure to be able to share my experiences and insights of working with Infosys over the last 15 years as part of the learning and development team. And before that, I was part of Deloitte, and before Deloitte, I was part of university, working with the students and helping them manage the content for the students. Within Infosys, my focus has been on two dimensions. So one is the internal rollout of the learning solutions for our employees across geographies. And in the recent times, so working with our clients to help them in their talent transformation journey by bringing together an ecosystem of learning solutions and knowledge management for them. Looking forward for the interaction and learning from each other.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you, Mr. Funny. We'll move to Mr. Sivaram.
Yeah, thank you, Harmeet, and thank you, esteemed panelists, and thank you for having me here. I'm really honored to be part of this forum, and very well said by Ritu and Funny. Glad to hear rich experience in this across the table, right? So I am Shivaram, and people call me Siva. I've got almost over 2 decades of experience, almost 25 years of experience in HR, predominantly into learning and development. However, I've got breadth of experience in HR, into HR business partnering and other talent management roles. And I've been with Ford for almost more than half a decade now, and Harmeet wanted us to share the transformation of learning and development, right? So I started my career as so-called personal department. That was the personal management department, not the HR or talent management, or so-called era where I started my career. And back then the learning was called as learning and development, where it was mass learnings, one size fits all training programs and all that stuff. Now we have moved to the hyper personalized learning programs, learning on the go. So that's where there is a tectonic shift, right? So you've seen from the mass programs, one size fits all, to a lot of personalized, hyper personalized programs, where we are building the AI along with the AI ecosystem, and we are leveraging a lot of data to predict the future skills, and how are we imbibing these learning programs in the workflow to make our what do you call workforce very agile and future ready. I also feel that the the skills, half skills, have skills life has dramatically decreased. It was 5 years before, and now it has come to 2 years. So there is an evolution. There is a mindset change from the L&D partners, L&D leaders, from what we were to what we are now, and we are also moving very agile and nimble. That's the key to our shift. That's what I could say. And with that, I would pass it on to the fellow panelists. Thank you.
Thank you, Shiva. I hope I can call you Shiva, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, Siva. People call me Siva. Yeah.
thank you, Shiva. Thanks a lot for your insight. So we'll move to Mr. Harshal.
Hello everyone, and thanks Harmit, sorry, for inviting me. Hello everyone. Uh, Harshal, I am currently working with a company named Vistion Corporation, electronics company, and do serve automotive electronics like infotainment clusters, digital clusters, electrification, and all to most of the OEMs, car OEMs in the world. My background, I till 2010, almost for a decade, I was a research professor. I led a government-funded laboratory for virtual reality. It's a research center for virtual reality, and also led research programs. Also, the master's program on virtual reality. Then 2011 onwards, I shifted to corporate, more into corporate technology, learning and development. Uh, I was in HCL, Engineering R&D Services, also in Capgemini Engineering, and now in Vistion since then. Primarily onto technology, learning and development. In Vistion, last 4 years, moved towards talent management programs, succession planning, and similar many other. But focus also has been on tech, learning and development. A bit on AI front. Uh, my recent kind of a pilot in our company is to create AI learning agent. So I grabbed some of our engineers with some investment also, and something on Llama LLM, and we create a learning agent wherein engineers can have a on-the-go learning nuggets and knowledge nuggets, and then that's being integrated with Microsoft Teams. And we tried it with one of the domains working good. And my thought process around learning strategies towards like discussion, I believe for many years till now, we were looking at the learning system as Netflix for learning, like providing kind of Netflix type of recommendation based on certain skills declared or based on the role what a person is doing. But I think there has been a move. I believe that we have to move towards something we call GPS for a career. So everyone has a career they are dreaming, and AI's core is the data. We are sitting on a huge data in a company. Is the data available? It's just a matter of how to get that for a usage like this, and then make engineers provide such type of such type of on-go learning. And what I believe is time is very crucial. Time is the most crucial resource now. And to counter that, if we have, we can use AI, get that data, make it easy, that all the employees, not only engineers, but all the employees can grow towards their career. So that's what I believe. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thanks a lot for a powerful case study along with the intro, Mr. Harshal. So yeah, we move to Mr. Vishal.
Hi, Harmeet. Hi, Yuvika. Hi, everyone. Thanks for hosting us today. I'm Vishal Nagla. I work with Gera Developments, and we are a real estate developer based out of Pune. And I have around 20 plus years of overall work experience. I've worked across multiple industries, and I kind of position myself at the bridge between people, technology, processes, and try to build systems where all of these work together. So that's been kind of my forte across my career. Talking about L&D is something which I would like to bring to the table, something very different, which we are trying at Gera, being into real estate, and we have a lot of construction site workers and people working at the different sales offices and site offices, and it's so diverse. It's very difficult to get everybody into a classroom anymore. And we've moved away from the philosophy of classroom learning to something which we call as a blended learning. So we're doing that uh, with the help of our partner. We've done LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning is our content partner. But what we're doing is we are creating career paths for different people, depending on where they are right now and where they want to be, based on career aspiration dialogues. Then we provide them with certain online learning courses, which they can do on the go in bit-sized learning. We track and monitor how much of that they've done. In between, we bring the subject matter experts, either from the industry or from within the company, to talk to people about these skills. So we complement them. And now, starting April, what we are going to do is we are going to have the managers also jump into this to ensure that there is on-the-job application of this training happening. Right. So that is one whole bit of how we're just changing the training game around and making it more specific to the user's own career aspiration or persona, because I believe uh, all of us would have experienced, the push learning no longer works, right? It has to be something which has to come from inside. Person needs to want to learn. Only then they will actually learn and then apply the skill. If they see something which is going to help them progress their career, that is something which they want to pick up. And the other thing which we are now starting to do is also use recommendations, AI-based recommendations in what courses would work well for what skills. Plus, we've started developing in-house modules for onboarding in different departments. This is something very different which we're trying to do. So, we are using AI to ensure that when a person joins first, they know everything about the organization, but we are using the AI to create content which is generated by the user department themselves into onboarding modules, small bit-size onboarding modules. What is each and every person doing. So the goal probably towards the end of the year would be, if Vishal is doing 15 different tasks, has Vishal been able to create a training module for each of those tasks, a bit-size training module for each of those tasks, so that anybody new coming in can go through that, and then if they need help, they can go and talk to Vishal. Right. So that's something which we're going to experiment starting April, and I'll let everybody know later how it works out.
I guess that's pretty interesting. So I guess the benefit of having such a diverse group of people in one room is, I guess we are everything. We have real estate, we have, OEM manufacturing, we have IT services, and I guess and all of them are large scale. So I guess a lot of learning in the room. I'm pretty excited to, deep dive more. So before that, I'll tell you. So I personally started building just outside IIT Delhi. I'm an IIT Delhi alum, and for the past decade and a half, we've been building. And my first company was in the learning space itself, right? And that time, learning was known sexy. Today, it is still sexy. At least the CEOs, the leaders are talking about it. That's a boardroom agenda because AI skilling is there, and the people did not used to take learning as a priority or learning as a shift. And because the major focus is of course the on the core business function, and learning is treated or was treated as an auxiliary function. So I'll also come to you guys about how that shift is changing right now and how it is directly linked to business outcomes. That is one of the areas which I was pondering upon across various industries. And another thing, although some of you already shared a lot of case studies, so the other day we were talking to a lot of HR leaders, L&D leaders, and the thing which came out was today a lot of AI powered thing, and that is what I'm also kind of decoding for the audience. And we want to pick your brains on how you think that is the case. So what we came up as an analogy was that it's like we are in the age of horses, right? We are in a pre-wheel age, and everybody's running on horses. Horse is used as a vehicle. Okay, imagine that scenario, and wheel is invented for the very first time. So because wheel is invented, we have so many journalists, decision makers, policy makers, everyone. People said, yeah, we gotta utilize wheel for sure. So far so good. We have to utilize wheel. But what's happening is, is that in the name of utilizing wheel, a lot of people, what they're doing is they're sitting on the horse, carrying a wheel in their hand and calling it as a utilization of the wheel. And then they want it more heavy utilization. So then they are sitting on the same horse, running on the same horse, and carrying two wheels in their hands. And that really can't be called as a transformation. Now, what I'm saying is not a fairy tale or a legend. I guess it's a dark reality or the blunt reality of today with a lot of organizations or with a lot of current scenario, because and with a lot of tools as well, AI powered. So no surprises, the wheel I'm talking is AI, and the horse I'm talking is legacy software or the legacy processes. So it will not add to value. The horse will not run faster. The best use case is when you have to reinvent the entire vehicle. You have to probably make a bullock cart, or you have to make a engine powered vehicle. You have to put four wheels together in the on the road and not in hand, and probably make the entire machinery working as a well-oiled machine, as a well-oiled car. So a lot of leaders pointed out, I guess that is the mindset, or that is the confusion where people are missing, that it is not necessary every time you put AI and make something AI powered. It's more like wherever it is required, what it is not able to do, yes, what you were not able to do yesterday, and how it can enable you in your same process, in your same North Star goals and metrics. And then AI should be utilized in the right manner, right? I'll also add one more thing, since so this is a poem which was there, which we also coined when we started Rabbit AI. It was, you might have heard, or uh, there's a poem called "Water, Water Everywhere, All the Boats Did Shrink." Water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. So this is a situation of a sailor in front of, in the middle of an ocean, right, where he can't consume ocean water. So we said that AI everywhere. Where are all the perks? AI everywhere. Show me an AI that works. So to find answers to those questions, we are conducting this thing, and that's where we'll jump straight to you guys. That where's an AI that works and where's an AI that does not work, right? What is working exactly? And we can be really candid about this, because see, uh, the positives and successes everybody is saying, but pointing out real problems so that the builders can build on it, the problem solvers can solve, and together we can learn. That is the initiative we tried to take with this kind of forum. And we also are live streaming it with the audiences who have joined in. Some of the questions which are coming are also on that side, that how are you seeing the implementation of AI inside your organizations? On the same framework, how did you start? What were the problems? We'll first limit to that question. And also some quick successes. Some of you already shared some quick successes, but maybe with numbers and all, where you are seeing the success, where you're seeing an inertia, where you're seeing the maybe the failure as well, if you are willing to share that, so that it, for the other talent leaders who have joined in, for the other aspiring leaders or founders or builders, when they have to implement that, so that they don't reinvent the wheel, right? So maybe we'll go. Anyone, if you can also put in your hands, or anyone who would like to take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Anand has just admitted to the meeting. There were some issues on it, some.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hi, Mr. Anand. How are you?
Yeah, Hanif, thank you so much. I'm so sorry. In a technology event, if you get a technical glitch, it is always a little bit more painful.
No worries.
But
We
never
totally
mind.
Can we see you? Can you come on video?
But that is the problem. There is some issue with my camera, and I thought the problem is with my laptop. I restarted it, but somehow I'm not able to fix it. If you want, I can join from my mobile, and then you can probably see me as well. Is that okay?
That'll be
No
helpful.
problem.
That'll
Yeah,
be fine. So,
okay, so I'll
yes.
just join in with the mobile, and then.
Sure, Anand, I'll let you in. You can do that.
For
And
sure.
Yeah,
And
okay.
then we'll go to your intro and your first
Yeah.
question. I'll probably repeat it for you. I'll take
Yeah.
views from one or two panelists and then jump to you where you can introduce yourself along
Sure,
with,
sure.
share
Makes sense.
your insight on this.
Makes
Yeah.
sense. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess Vishal, you were saying you want to go ahead for this question. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead with this. So, I
Sure.
want to share the journey which we took, in terms of trying to train people on AI and the learning so far. So it all started with a leadership meet, and the founders are thinking that what can we do with AI and how do we train our people with AI? We are in real estate. Can we do something in real estate with AI? Right. So the first round which we did is the 6 CXOs which we are at the leadership team. We were given a task that find a problem which we want to solve with AI.
Interesting.
And then come back after a week and see are you able to do it, or do you need any help? And we gave everybody ChatGPT enterprise licenses, and we said we want the leaders first go ahead and try your hands on this new toy or tool in the market. Right. And we went back and we each had a problem. I had a people problem, somebody had a sales problem. We tried to fix it, and all of us were new to it. But what was interesting was that we were all trying to look at a problem and then find a solution to it, and not trying to look at what can AI do for me. We already had a problem statement before we started. Right?
Got it.
Once we did that, then we got one larger pool of people, another 20 odd people. We did a quick survey within the organization. So we are just 400 employees right now, right? So we did a quick poll. Who wants to take AI? Who wants to learn AI? Right? And the enthusiasts, we picked them as the AI champions, and we brought them the licenses, and we said, your leaders have this problem. Now we want you to help them solve this.
Right. Okay.
And then once this was solved, it took around, I would say 4 to 5 weeks of just having some brainstorming and also providing them with some support, right, of people who actually had worked on the AI first, right? Then we had actual use cases that, this is how AI can be used in your particular department. Right. Okay. So we were really, amazed to see what people came up with. Somebody could design an entire. Yeah, I'll tell you. Somebody could design an entire flat, the interiors, and I'm talking about a year back. Okay. Using ChatGPT, we are using a plugin called Design GPT. Right? Okay. A flat interiors done in 5 minutes. You just have to write down the specifications and create it, right? And somebody from my projects team said, "यार हमको क्या काम आएगा ये? हम तो site पे यार हम building बनाते हैं, walls करते हैं, ये करते हैं." There was a smart person over there who started using AI images to certify the quality of work which has happened, to find flaws, okay, and to also look at quantity of material which has come in, whether it is somewhat same to what was ordered or not ordered. Okay. The third use case which we got was on safety, right? So there are safety checkpoints, very stringent safety checkpoints. But just by doing photos across the site, is it possible for us to see which safety checkpoint is getting missed out? And these were all very small things, but these were people, the site engineers came up with these ideas. Ke, sir, ye hamare ko bahut tedious ho jata hai, har baar checklist bharna hai and stuff like that. We need to fill all these checkpoints. Can it be done automatically? Right? Okay, you go ahead, get the videos done and do it. And then we demonstrated this in a town hall to everyone, right? Use cases for each department. Now who wants to learn? And I'll still tell you that not 100% people signed up for it. True. Right? We had 100 out of 400 people who said we want to sign up for it and do something with AI. We provided them with licenses to go ahead and learn. One very important learning which we had, we were first trying to train people how to use ChatGPT.
Okay.
And while you were talking about the horse and the wheel, right? The mindset change which we had to take is something which we realized somehow midway, because
Mm.
someone else was already using Gemini, somebody was using Claude, some of the
Yeah.
AI enthusiasts, and they said, why can't we use this tool?
Yeah.
It seems to be better.
Yeah.
And then at the org level, we had to decide what tool do we take as an enterprise, right?
Mm.
In between all of this, in brainstorming, we learned one thing, right? That you don't need to teach a particular tool for people to learn AI. Okay.
Yes.
It's similar to learning how to drive.
Yeah.
If you learn how to drive, regardless of what vehicle is there, you are going to apply the same skills and you can use it. Then, depending on what you want, you can either buy a Maruti Swift, or you can buy a SUV or a truck. Depending on what you need. There are products for everything, but the basic is you need to learn how to drive.
How to try.
So during the process, we learned that rather than pushing to learn Chat GPT only, we
Mm.
need to push them to
Fundamentals of AI, prompt engineering,
prompt the
guardrails.
prompt engineering. Like
Yeah.
recent LinkedIn report also says, skills on the rise in HR. The number one skill on the rise is prompt engineering.
Prompt engineering.
Right? We need to learn how to write down our problems and talk to the system, the AI system, so that it works for us. So I think that was a very important learning which we had during the journey. And now we just have people talk to each other and they just tell them, aise gaadi chalana hai ye AI ka. That's it. Right. So that's what I wanted to share.
You on that, Vishal. That's a gold mine. First of all, I was very happy when you said your people came up with those ideas, the site engineer coming up with that safety AI banaya ja sakta. I guess people hire McKinsey's of the world
Yes.
for figuring that out in the earlier world. So your
Hmm.
engineers coming it out, I guess, and then telling you, of course, they might not able to build the robust solution, but at least pointing the right problem, and then your engineers or your partners can work towards building that solution use
Correct.
case for
I
them.
think more important is, getting the thought process going.
Correct, correct. That's why I said that's a gold mine.
AI for problem solving.
Yeah, AI for problem solving. Very wonderful insights, Vishal. I guess that really helps. I'll go to Mr. Anand I'll just introduce himself as well. He joined a bit late. And also, Mr. Anand, you were there when I was telling the entire context in this first question, or should I repeat it for you?
No, no, sorry. If you can, yes, yeah.
Basically, we said that basically everybody's talking of AI, chatting a lot about AI, but where is the real value? So AI everywhere. Where's an AI that works? So that was a case study which we were asking everyone from their organizational POV, how they have seen the application and implementation, the problems they have faced, very specific things. If you can tell, along with your introduction, where you are successful, partially successful there in your workforce skilling journey in your organization. So you're on mute.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much, Harneet, and thank you for having me here. I can see wonderful people from some diverse, industry, and it is wonderful to be part of it. So, okay, so let me start with. So I started my career way back in 2000 with Mahindra British Telecom. I can see Ritu is there from Tech Mahindra, so that's my first company, and I can also see somebody from Ford, but and I've spent some time in automobile sector, almost 9 years with Hero Honda or Hero Motocorp later on. I've been a very, very adventurous kind of journey in my career. Started as a software engineer after my engineering from REC Calicut, and then gradually moved to after a little bit stint in the sales and marketing, moved to learning and development space, which always fascinated me since the beginning of my career. So I was wanted to be there on that side. So I moved to learning and development side, worked with a nice startup which used to be one of the largest learning and development company at that point of time, and then gradually moved to Hero Honda. I was started as a zonal learning head for North, and then became the national learning head and the global learning head before I left Hero, and started my own venture for a little while, which I was trying to create something on the skilling landscape a little ahead of time. So bootstrapped, and therefore after a couple of years thought to go back, or probably forced by the better half to go back. So So then I jumped into another sector. I love shifting the sectors and rather than the company. So I moved to pharmaceutical. There was a company called Shire Pharmaceutical, which was a very niche company in rare diseases segment. And later it was acquired by Takeda. And Takeda is a very huge organization. We are also a legacy organization. Takeda is almost 245 years old organization, uh, and I've been with Takeda now, Shire Takeda put together for 8 years, and gradually from heading the India Learning and Development position to ICMR area office, which is based in Dubai, and then later on to growth and emerging market based in Singapore. And last year I moved to Zurich, which is part of the global portfolio division, and I now head the digital capability division of global portfolio. So it's been a quite a roller coaster, as I said, journey. But I've seen the learning and development, the three sides of learning and development journey: the commercial, the HR, and the now data, digital, and technology. So a good mix of all the three L&D spaces. So okay. So coming back to what we are doing. So as I said, we are a huge legacy organization,
Yeah.
and I remember Takeda acquired Shire in 2019 beginning, and by the time we were doing this massive, and it was a massive acquisition by one of the largest acquisitions in the pharma sector. Almost two equal companies were in terms of revenue were merging. So what happened? By the time we were trying to integrate things, etc., and the COVID came, so the couple of years went into COVID. So everything slowed down, and then so it took a little bit more than the expected time to integrate both the organization. And then after that, we actually embarked on the journey of the whole digital transformation, and which it still continues, by the way. And we are trying to bring this company more agile, more lean, more tech driven, which it was not at all. It was a very legacy kind of organization. So what we have done right now is we are first of all trying to work on the data, because in pharmaceutical, data is the oil, actually, to run the organization. And we had, in the legacy organization, we were completely decentralized. Every country was like their own boss, and everybody was doing in their own world. All processes, all the data generation, creation, storage, mining, everything was at very local level. We were a completely decentralized organization. So what we have done is now we are trying to make it more central. So we have created a central, we are creating a central data bank, database, and data centers, and so that once and then the whole cleaning of data and everything. So that is one big piece which is happening, at the data level. Now coming back to the use of the AI, and then thereby automating processes and standardizing and kind of globalizing the various processes. All those is a work in progress which is happening. But at the same time, we don't want to be left behind from the perspective of using or leveraging the AI and the tools, and both in terms of capability scaling and also in terms of the improving the business processes. So we are a pharma company, so we have a huge R&D setup. So R&D is the one place where we have leveraged the use of AI and the tools, etc., in a big way, because the new molecule discovery, or moving the pipeline, at different stages, AI is a big help there. So that's one place where I think I don't have a visibility, but being a part of the organization, I know that it's
That is an
being,
AI
yeah,
footprint.
yeah. So that's a place where AI is being used big time.
Mhm.
Also on the commercial side, we are we are we are now going to be moving the entire CRM into Salesforce. So earlier it was different in different countries. So what we're calling is the CX of the future project, which has been started. So recently started just 6 months ago. So slowly in next 1 year or 2 year, we will move the entire customer side of the management CRM into the Salesforce platform. And so that's one project going on from the digital perspective. Now from the AI perspective, we we big time use the Copilot. So we have a Microsoft 365, license for all the employees, and we are promoting the use of Copilot because we work on the Microsoft ecosystem. So that's very helpful, with all the apps and everything. So the capability department has, capabilities department's single point focus in 2025-26 was to bring this awareness, the mindset change of using the Copilot, whether from drafting email to analyzing your medical documents, or to drafting your documents, to so all functions, all departments, we are trying to bring the awareness,
Right.
create a lot of use cases. So we have created a centralized use case data bank where anybody using these tools and creating use cases are being sourced there and then put together so that others can also learn. Then we are also doing a lot of hybrid training sessions to
That's
leverage.
happening on your LMS, like you're storing all
Yes.
these use cases on your LMS, or
Not on LMS. So we've created an internal portal called Takeda.ai, and or anything happening in the world of AI in Takeda is being hosted at one place. LMS is a very it's largely driven by HR, and LMS we use LXP, which is Cornerstone's LXP, and also SAP SuccessFactor for our mandatory training programs in pharma. So that's a separate word, and that is largely dedicated for the behavioral soft skill and compliance trainings, etc. So, but we use a lot of AI there also because AI is built into those LXP systems. So it gives learners a lot of AI based experience about what you want, what kind of kind of learning you're exploring, etc. So it recommends and does a lot of things based on your goals, etc. So that's one piece. But in terms of AI, the key focus is the Copilot, and one more tool which we call, which is our own large language model. So we have developed our own LLM, which is rooted in ChatGPT also. So ChatGPT plus our own internal, a lot of data, a lot of data points, and it is rooted in that, and that is called My Aibao. My Aibao is a Japanese word which says my companion. So that's another tool which we use big time, and because of data protection policy, etc. And we encourage our employees to create agents and do whatever with this particular tool. And it's very, very helpful, integrated with Microsoft Teams now and some of the Microsoft tools. So right now, just in a nutshell, the summary of the story, the two tools, the Copilot and MyIBOW, is the focus in this fiscal year, and we have been quite successful, almost around, I mean, we are 40-50,000 strong employee company. So I can see in the very first year we have reached almost 50%. People have started using these tools, and in some way or the other, in some of the other use cases, which is huge actually.
which is huge. Oh, lovely. I guess a lot to learn from you, sir. Your diverse journey, Mr. Anand, and
Thank you.
specifically the things you shared about AI in pharma, and then using AI Copilot in your own LLM for making employees capable to build their own agents, automate their workflows. So
Yeah.
I'll probably, in the next part of the discussion, I'll love to drill more deep into what kind of employees and what kind of strategies you are doing for
Sure.
training, and where you are seeing the success. So, but lovely introduction, and I guess a lot of things for us to process. So I'll move
Thank
to
you.
Ritu probably to share again a large scale transformation. You mentioned you have been in the L&D space. So a little bit twist in the question, basically what used to work earlier, what is not working right now in the L&D space, and also answer what is working right now, specifically in the IT space, where I guess it's a do or die situation, right? You have to make people ready, or they'll die, or some problem will be there, because the pace of transformation is very fast. Demands of client will be changing very fast, I believe. And the same question I'll come to you for funny as well, because similar space. So would love to know from both of you, from the IT services angle, how learning, what has changed in the learning in your processes, and what is it which is showing you the right kind of results? Ritu.
Sure. Thank you so much, Harneet, for this question. So, yeah, so the future of L&Ds, I feel, is not about just the courses, not about the number of trainings, hours of training, completion rates. All of that we used to track as on maybe till last year, right? It is about now about building a continuous skills ecosystem rather. Earlier, if somebody was doing a PMP certification and doing project management, it was done. But now it's not one-time training program, rather it's a continuous upskilling model, and employees must reskill continuously. That should be the aim. And the L&D function, it's more of now not as a learning head or it is more about, I rather like to call myself as a learning partner, to partner with the business and understand their needs, create the programs which are more aligned to business, gives direct impact on the business ROI, right? Return on the investment, what we are doing through the learning. So that is the way to go. And to do that, we need to understand the employee roles and use maybe AI to, not maybe, must be, and we are already doing it, to understand the skill gaps. And then I remember Vishal, I guess, spoke about recommending the personalized learning paths. That's where I think we should precisely be using AI for, and giving the recommendations to the learners on this. And I remember Harshal was talking about sitting on the huge data, and I'm sure we all have so many learning avenues, modules, self-led training programs, instructor-led training programs. Our LMSs are overwhelmed with all of these things. So we need to now make best use of that data, create some learning programs, or to create some AI agents to come out and give the personalized learning experiences, learning paths to our learners. So I see that, it's already, we are into that era where we, as an L&D leaders, as L&D partners, have to start using AI. And for generating content, I'm sure we all are doing, for generating assessment, learning and analytics, skill gap identification. These are some of the things where we can do it. And I recently attended one of the event where I went, and one of the learning uh, vendor was showing me one use case where they were using the AI and giving the simulated environment where the leadership skills were addressed, like negotiation skills. Some simulated use cases were given, and it was taking, trying to assess the leader how good or where the improvements are needed on negotiation skills or conflict management. So I was very happy to see that AI is being used now, started getting used in leadership development as well, critical thinking as well. So these are some of the brilliant use cases where AI can definitely uplift our learning and development culture.
Lovely. I guess, yeah, for sure. Even Rabbit, we have that kind of module where leaders can actually, simulate various case studies. So a couple of people are like, you can simulate a customer scenario and do an entire negotiation, pitching and all, the customer success, the product teams, the sales teams. And on the leaders side, I guess that's where AI can clone your customer's persona and ask you relevant questions, picking from real world. I guess that's one of the new and advanced use cases, because uh, I believe AI is there for amplifying human impact, right? Be it making you more ready for the real world, be it amplifying connections, be it making transactions easier. I guess all making coding easier, making production easier, making distribution easier. That is where AI will be used. It's like an industrial revolution thing where you dig with hand and now there's a JCB. So you code with hand, now there's a tool for that. So quick follow-up question on that, Ritu, and then we'll move to Funny. Uh, if you can also name few, because why I'm asking this for the audience is because you represent a large IT services company. So what kinds of trainings, and there are a couple of developers in our community as well who want to understand where the world is headed. So what kind of trainings you are seeing the maximum impact, or you're seeing the maximum demand from the client side? Let's say if I give you more precise scenario, you have, let's say, 10,000 people who are generic engineers in a 3 to 5 year experience range. So how would you typically decide that what will you skill them on, and what are the some non-negotiable trainings and skillings you are doing, right, in the AI first world? So maybe some precise objective pointers on that, if you can share.
Sure. Wonderful question. So we are a huge, big size organization,
Yeah.
1.5 lakhs employees approximately. And as Vishal initially mentioned, that we also started almost 2.5, 3 years back when CXO set the directions that Techim should become an AI first organization. Everybody should be AI literacy fluent, right? So two things we did it. So I'll just give you an example and set the context for this, that what trainings now we are focusing on. The first step was to create the AI literacy across the organization. So basic fundamental learning programs we created, and so that at least people don't just go by the myths what AI can do, they are clear on and cannot do. So that kind of thing we did it. And then we thought of, if every developer, every delivery person needs to be upskilled on AI, what should be done? So we thought a lot and created a AI framework, skilling framework, which is flexible, which is scalable, which is aligned to business, and which is progressive as well. Because if I create something today, the person should, if the employee is done with that, he or she should know the next path also. So we have created a 4-tier progressive learning journey for our employees to create AI literacy, fluency, proficiency in AI. So starting from level 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have given the name, very fancy names, AI agnostic to roles, white belt, blue belt, brown belt, and black belt. And starting from white belt, they are progressive and given the catchy names, and also because if somebody is at architect level and new to AI, would not like to be called as AI engineer, rather AI white belt. So that was the reason. And these thought through structure we have created, which is scalable. If suppose scalable and flexible also at the same time, like if you are working into Azure project using Azure as a cloud for your project, you are given the flexibility to choose from that bucket whether you want to use the Azure part of it, or AWS, or Google, or NVIDIA, or Red Hat, or different options are given. As it's a huge organization, multiple clouds, multiple technologies, multiple platforms are being used. So it is quite flexible for people to choose, opt, and get certified on. And each program is an extensive one. Minimum, the lowest layer itself takes 2 to 6 weeks time, and the highest one takes maybe around 6 months to a year for people to complete it. So this is the kind of customized program we are creating, and this framework has already won the Stevie Award as well. So we are working on now, when most of the people are done with these and going through at certain level, they are at the higher levels of the proficiency. We are also creating the hands-on. And by the way, these all levels are hands-on, including hands-on certifications. We provide a certificate signed by CXOs. And further to that, now we are scheduling hackathons, excitement days, coding days, vibe coding, and all of these things to encourage people to go back, think about it, and implement it into the project. So every single day there is something or other happening in the organization. So people are actively
All this
participating.
is managed by internal team, like your own team, L&D team.
Yes, it is all. But this has, as I said, this is including the platform and partners, hyperscaler certification. So it is curated very thoughtfully and as per the Tech Mahindra requirements. So that's how it is. Yeah, but the overall execution and validation and reviewing everything happens internally by L&D team.
And it's self-paced. It is self-paced for learners, right?
Most of it is self-paced, yes. Most of it is self-paced. First level includes, to certain extent, SME intervention. Otherwise, it is self-paced, anywhere, anytime, from any device learning. That's how it is. And yes, it is validated by the industry experts.
That's awesome.
That's how we are doing it.
Perfect. Thank you, Ritu. I'll move to Funny, as I said. So Funny, if you can, similar question, right, from your lens, how you are seeing what skills, what's happening inside Infosys. And you also mentioned you are doing some learning transformations for your clients.
Yeah.
So some case studies of, success, impact from there, if you want to share. Yeah.
Absolutely. So if we have to understand where we are currently, we have to go a little back into the history of how things have been and how things have evolved. So Learning and development, of course, has been very, very integral to what we've been doing at Infosys. We run one of the largest corporate universities in the world, a large setup that helps train multiple people at the time. And the model has worked really well over the years, and has given us the kind of benefits that we wanted to accrue from those initiatives, right? There was obviously a time when the learning was mandated, which means, people had to complete certain number of courses to be able to be eligible for promotion, and even that worked for some time. But there is a big shift that the leadership and the organization noticed around 8 to 9 years back, 2017-18, around that time. And there was a specific need that was identified for the organization to completely transform the way learning and development was happening within the organization. One of the primary reasons was that the skills that helped us get business over the last few years before that was becoming quickly obsolete, and newer technologies, as they started emerging, the need was for us to look at a large organization of 250,000 people and see how do we scale up learning for all of them in a very seamless manner, right? So that's the thought process which started, and that is where we've looked at the skill database within the organization, put them as a mapping to horizon 1, 2, and 3. Horizon 1 was where the skills were becoming obsolete, but large number of people were still in horizon 1. But when we saw horizon 2 and 3, those were the places where the demand was coming from the clients, and we had to train and prepare our people to be able to take care of those. Otherwise, we would have become obsolete in the game, where all the competitors would have served the needs of those clients, right? That's a very, very fundamental shift that was happening. And this is also the time when our chairman Nandan came back to Infosys, and he gave the learning and development team the objective of transforming this learning experience. And that is when we shifted from, say, a model where all the learning used to be tucked behind the intranet, where people had to either go to offices to be able to access the learning content, to anywhere, anytime, any device kind of a learning. That's a big shift that happened at that point of time. I'm talking about it now because that wave that we learned to surf is actually helping us to prepare well for what is coming up now as huge waves of technology shifts, right? So we fortunately at that time, because we built that kind of an infrastructure, digital infrastructure, and looked at how we are going to transform skills from one horizon to another. When we are experiencing these significant shifts now, we are able to scale that up very fast, right? So the infrastructure is there, the subject matter expertise is there within the organization, and these two are coming together to create an experience, for our employees, so that they are able to decide and understand how they want to scale up on these technology areas. The various options that are provided to them are from not just from Infosys, but across the globe, from the best of the sources that come together. The platform serves as a means, as an entry point for them to access all of this learning content at one place. And of course, there is a layer of intelligence that is being built on the platform to be able to recommend them the learning paths that will help them move from one skill set to another, upskill themselves from one skill set to another. So what this experience also helped us is, as we have done this transformation for ourselves, we found this to be very relevant for our clients as well. All the clients that we are working with, when we showcased what we are doing for ourselves in the learning and development space, they showed interest in asking us to help them in that journey. That's when we've launched what we use internally as a learning platform under the brand name of Infosys Wingspan to the clients, right? So,
And you
and
mentioned Infosys Wingspan.
Infosys Wingspan, yeah, Infosys Wingspan is the name of the platform. And
Springboard was something else, or is it?
Springboard, yeah. I'll come to that. That's a very interesting initiative in there. So, like I said, right? So, when we went through this kind of a transformation journey, we saw the relevance to the social dimension as well. On the client dimension, we offer it as a Wingspan platform or Infosys Wingspan platform. Springboard is a platform that we offer for multiple geographies, and all the courses that are available there are for free, which means anybody who is interested in developing skills in digital areas or leadership as well, they are able to access that. This is available for students across schools, early professionals, everybody, pretty much everybody in India. And this same thing has been expanded to other geographies as well. So if you look at a common theme that runs through this, the solution gets developed as part of Infosys within the organization, and more use cases are being catered to on the client dimension as well as the social dimension. And when we have rolled out the AI features within these platforms, I have some really interesting numbers from both of these that I wanted to share. Um, so we have a set of AI features and capabilities that we've rolled out on both the client side of the platforms and Springboard. And we have an AI tutor, which is embedded within the courses, and each of the learner can engage with the tutor to ask clarifying questions on any topic that they would not have understood after going through the course, and engage with them like pretty much like they would do with a chat GPT to understand the topic in a much more engaging way. In
Okay.
fact, what we've also done there is to provide the learners option to choose their learning styles, right? So we are not saying, you go and learn in a certain way. If you are somebody who learns in a Socratic way, for example, right,
Mm.
you have an option to switch the learning style, which means the AI tool will ask you questions and not directly give responses and answers,
Makes
and you learn by answering those questions and reinforce your learning. Then there are people who like storytelling way of learning, right? So we have a means through which a simple concept or a extremely complex concept also could be explained in the form of a story. It just articulates on the fly a beautiful story, and learning through that helps them understand the concepts well, right? So when we rolled out this feature for a period of year that we tracked these numbers, of course that's an ongoing process, but I'm just quoting it from an year. On Springboard, for example, we've had 257,000 Q&As performed on this particular tool in that period, and this was by say 146 users who did this. Similarly, on the client side, we've had close to 10,000 question and answers that were asked on this particular tool as they were going through these courses. In terms of content creation, close to 10,000 hours of transcripts were generated using the content creation ability that we have provided on these tools, right? So what we're obviously seeing is, as we introduce these tools within the organization and subsequently rolling out to the social dimension and the client dimension, we are able to see and articulate the benefits that the learners are getting from these engagements, and that kind of helps us reinforce our thought process that we are in moving in the right direction, and this is an ongoing process that we want to take it forward.
Lovely. I guess that's a wonderful case study, Funny, which you have shared. Thanks a lot for that. So I'll move to Mr. Shiva. Shiva, if you are here, uh,
Yeah, yeah,
with the
yeah,
question
Hamid.
that,
Yeah.
yeah. So what these guys have built on how to start the transformation journey and where to take that. I'll also ask you
Mm.
a question with the which is from the next part, which is how to really engage the learners, right? So you come from an automotive industry. I believe you will have different demographics of people. You will have people from manufacturing, you will have people from business sales, then you'll have people who are managing your dealers, partners, right? So how within this demographics at an enterprise level, how do you, when you create your learning strategy, how do you define various engagement buckets and segmented plans for these people developments? If you can throw some light from your lens on this, and whatever the earlier discussion, if you want to add to that. So please feel free to do so as well.
Great case studies and great what you call knowledge sharing by the panelists, especially from Funny. So good to see a lot of work happening and how they started and how they're upping the ante with respect to the AI space in the L&D. So similar to the other panelists, Ford is a legacy company. So as you all know, so it's a bit of manufacturing now. When you think about Ford in India, people think it's a manufacturing organization where we manufacture cars, but we do have a 20,000 employee presence predominantly in a GCC in Chennai, predominantly working in niche skills areas. That is, we have got a data analytics team of say around 800 data engineers who are creating solutions which are very, very crucial for business in Dearborn or the globally. So we've got almost presence in 120 countries, and these data engineers and AI engineers who work on the AI platforms are very pivotal in the growth of business globally. So global strategy depends on this team, and we've got a center of excellence team, IT and whatnot, operating from here. So it's a two-way shift, right? So I've been both in the manufacturing space as well as in the GCC. Currently, I'm in the GCC. It's called a Ford Business Service Center. So let me share the journey how it was. So initially, but we there were a lot of the experience that the panelists shared. We started those initiatives way almost decade back. So I'll just say how it was. So when we started, it was a mass learning. It was one size fits all learning, and it was push based learning like others. But we adopted a blended learning approach. One gentleman touched on the blended learning thing. So we started a blended learning approach 10 years back, which was more pull based learning, and we divided the learning and development per se into two things. One is the skill based learning, and one is the leadership and professional development. So initial focus was more on leadership and professional development. The skill based learning predominantly was done at the operational level, where we had a lot of subject matter experts whom we used to call as master trainers, and who were subject matter experts on the field, and they used to train these people, and that was how we used to manage. But slowly, when we shifted to this technology space, as I said, we needed to be very agile. The skills were getting the shelf life of skills were reducing very high. So initially it was 5 years. The half shelf life was 5 years. Now it's become 2 years. So what happened was, more than 5 years back, uh, the large scale adaptation to the AI happened from the global team. So how this was integrated in the workflow, there was no concrete efforts to train people in AI, but there was a buzz created, and we created an LLM with the Gemini, and so since it's a legacy company and it's a huge we had huge reserves of capital, so they invested heavily with Gemini, and we historically partner with Microsoft. So but we moved to Google and we did it, and it's called an LLM platform, and we created a buzz around it, and people started using that extensively, and we built that in the workflow. So what happens is, predominantly we started with the AI pilots, then the chatbots, and which on the micro learning. So what happens is, we create a lot of micro learning programs where people use this AI platforms to lead them to the resources what they need. So they've got wealth of data, they've got wealth of knowledge, and in the system, as well as they leverage that, and that help them keeping engaged. So rather than calling them for a room, rather than delivering lectures, so we thought that creating or building these learning micro learnings into the workflows help would help us, and it helped us immensely. Then what we did was, we, as another gentleman told, we created career paths. So when we sit with this, so as Ritu also mentioned, the L&D no longer works as a silo, or it's not an HR department nowadays. We partner with the business, understand what is the now, near, and far strategy. The strategy also has been reducing for 2 years now. So what is our strategy going to be for next 2 years? So for achieving that objective, or achieving that global objective, or achieving that bottom line or top line, what are the skills that we need? Are we equipped with the skills? How are the skills going to be replenished? Whether these are going to be taken over. So from there we dwell down to the important skills. Then we create career paths for the skills. Then we identify with a lot of data, the historic data and current data, who are all the employees who have those skills. We create career paths for them. And we also design whole host of HR programs, right, from the component differentiation of the performance. And all these things are embedded into the performance. We call it as a performance plus system, where increasingly leaders, this AI is also, that LLM is also embedded, where increasingly leaders get to know what is the talent, how is the talent mobility, how this can be placed. So it's all global level. So at the click of a button, people know the career paths, people know who's good at what skill, how can be improved and all that. And then this AI also is helping them deliver quality performance reviews. We are now increasingly moving towards pay for performance. So since it was a legacy company, there were only two categories or three categories of performance. One is met, and one was exceedingly met. But slowly what has happened is everybody used to get the same amount of bonuses and all that stuff, right? But now it's pay for performance that is set in, and increasingly the leaders, there's a mind shift that leaders need to have to capsule or give the feedback with specific instances, and they're increasingly using this LLM to upgrade themselves to give the feedback. So it's been a good journey, where we are holistically embrace this AI, not forcing it to anybody, but it's been a pull factor, and we've been using it increasingly in increasing the for workforce planning, increasing the capability, as well as predominantly looking at the talent mobility and using it in the performance space. And employees are getting benefited because they are having these resources in their fingertips, and they're keeping engaged. So even for the leadership and development programs, people are not coming to it's not a physical training program. It's all learning on the go, where we have built everything in the mobile. They can it's all capsules, learning capsules. Unless there is a very specific niche type of programs, like we have C-suite leaders for the succession planning. There are some executive presence training programs and all that stuff, which requires uh, coming in the group, collaborating and all that stuff. Barring that, everything is on the grow, and everything is on micro learning. So this is the shift. So from the plant to the GCC to the technology. And we are also giving a lot of importance to the cyber security. In fact, there is a COE of cyber security which is based out of Chennai, and this cyber security team controls the entire that is gives supports to the entire Ford world. So that's the and the AI team also sits here. So AI and ML team are the COEs who give a lot of solutions to
Very
globally. So,
interesting.
so, so that's how we do. Yeah.
I guess we were not aware of this, right? Specifically, right? When we, as you said, when we look at Ford, it looks
Yeah.
at Ford as a manufacturing and then a support function and L&D. I was not aware 20,000 people sitting in Chennai and they are working for future skills.
Yeah.
That's a huge move.
It's a state of the art facility. It's
Yeah.
in Chennai, in Sholinganallur. So it's amongst all other IT companies, even Tech Mahindra, HCL are there. So they've built a massive place, and it's almost like Google, right? So you can sit anywhere and work. You're not restricted to any places. There is huge cafeteria, whatever you name it, you get it. There's huge gymnasium. So Ford has thought very futuristically, and they are engaging Gen Z employees. If you see, 80% of the employees in this place is Gen Z only. So
Okay.
80%, yeah. 20% are only between.
They are all majorly software people, analytics.
Predominantly software, analytics, and COEs. Even manufacturing COEs here, related to software, anything you name it is here, and accounting COE is also here. And all these use a lot of AI tools, LLM. So people, it's imbibed in the DNA for people to use it. So there is no push factor. So what I mean to say is, the LLM Gemini is embedded in the workflow, and even me, when I want to do something in HR, I just go to it, just frame it and send it. Not like those days where we'll have to think about a strategy or think about a presentation or something. within Ford. So that's how the adaptations level are now within Ford. So I
And
thought
the
about
journey of past 1.5 year, right?
yeah,
Majorly
it's a journey of 2 to 3 years, last two
two
to
to
three
three
years.
years. Perfect. I guess lovely. I'll move to Mr. Herschel. So, and then we'll move to the final part where also we'll share a quick case study and then we'll go to a wrap up. So, Mr. Herschel, we'll move to the final question for you, which is the how to measure ROI, right? Typically, and more in the AI world, more in the new world, if you tell from your lens that whatever learning programs, whatever we can do all the things in the world, but how do you link the learning outcomes to the business outcomes? What are few metrics or what are few best practices for doing that, and how do you kind of link business to learning? Mr. Herschel is there or is
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I was just telling that a very famous topic, ROI in learning. I've been attending many conferences related to learning, and this has been a very hot topic, ROI. And we used to always say, good old days, that ROI, there is a Kirkpatrick matrix, level 1, level 2, level 3, the reaction to knowledge, to delayed feedback, and what happens, and the ROI in terms of money. So I think those days have gone. We have to look at in a different fashion. That's what I believe. Uh, we have been doing the very traditional, Kirkpatrick model, but then some of the thoughts and some of the experiment is what I thought I can share with you. So there is a program, and it's not linked with the AI. I'm just talking about one very high valued program which was done, which is happening, and it is handpicked few early career employees in a certain domain are trained over a period of 1.5 years. It's kind of, you can treat it as the master's degree within the company. So there's a phase 1 of 6 months, phase 2 of 6 months, and another first is fundamentals, foundation, then specialization, and the third phase is demonstration. Kind of, you can relate it with university post graduation, coached by very senior tech experts, tech fellows, and tech professionals on the career ladder front. So very handful early career handpicked people, and very senior folks on the other side, and this program happens. Now the question came, it's an investment, because people are pulled out of their regular work, especially those experts. Uh, they have to still deliver their regular work and still coach through a very structured mechanism through this. So the question comes of ROI, and then we did something different. Apart from our regular stuff, we picked up the metrics which business runs it as a part of their BAU, business as usual metrics related to quality, related to productivity on various aspects. These engineers on a certain domain, let's say software update as a domain. Now, those engineers have got certain metrics as a part of their team, sprints and bigger team, on quality front, software defects, the epic stories, and likewise multiple metrics which are anyways tracked. So what I believe is, I'm just taking a little bit stop, right? I believe that ROI calculation we should do on the measures which are on the metrics which are already measured. We shouldn't, dig in and to find out and what should we do. So there are a lot of business metrics which are already being captured. I believe we should make use of it and have a kind of a correlation with the learning and see, is there any improvement over the period of time. So let's say a longitudinal study, and over a 18 months period, how has been the metrics improving for that particular participant, and that participant is coming from one of the sprint, right? So how is it affecting for the entire sprint, because there is a knowledge transfer which indirectly happens from that participant to rest of the people. So on two dimensions we checked it. One, how has been the improvement as a self for that particular engineer over a long duration. Second, as a sprint team, how that team's overall performances improved on those metrics related to quality, related to productivity. And there has been some improvement which we observed, and that's how we could sustain and get more funding from the leaders. So that's how I think the ROI would work. Now if I have to relate it with AI, we have not tried it, but I guess with respect to AI, we have to again find out how usage. So it's like whatever I told, is with respect to a learning program. But without a learning program, the utilization of AI, basis which if we do a longitudinal study, so in the research world we have studies, there are cross sectional study, longitudinal study, and etc. If we do a longitudinal study, we can track different metrics to see how there has been an improvement, link it with some dollar value or rupee value, and then we'll be able to find out the ROI. Co-panelists told about a lot of investment in Gemini and many other tools. They are really expensive. So one small pilot which I ran, it paid through a nose. So very high expenses towards it, and we have to really look at those metrics of business, connect it with this investment, and find out is that really helping. One point before I close, there has been a lot of talk happening about, are we really investing wise in AI?
Yeah.
And that's a big question. And recently, when I presented one of the pilot results to one of the very senior leader who has been a sponsor, and he asked me the question that these are the early days, so he did not really objected or stop the funding, but then he did ask me the question that, okay, we had taken approval, we have certain budget, but is it really helping me? How can you prove it? And that's where this thought came of. I showed that so much percentage of improvement and so quality metric, and that's where he agreed for further investing. Had it not been done, our funding to that pilot would have stopped there and there itself. So that's what I just
It's a
wanted to
very sharp move and very interesting case study, Herschel, you shared. So Ritu raised her hand. Ritu, you want to add to that? Yes.
Yeah. Just to add to this, very interesting to hear through the insights which you have shared. But just wanted to add in from AI's perspective, the first measure, the baseline is performance, right? So everybody's talking about productivity improvement, project delivery speed, fewer errors, better customer satisfaction. So all of these things are the delivery teams are measuring from the AI perspective. So I remember one of the panelists talking about the Copilot uses, right? So Microsoft GitHub Copilot or Copilot 365. So all of these are definitely improving the productivity by 20 to, some people are claiming 20 to 30, and some organization 50%. So that's how the productivity is being measured in terms of percentage improvement. But from the training perspective, when we directly try to align it to deployment. So if we are training some people on AI, how are they getting onto project and working onto project and bringing the dollar value benefit to the organization? So that's the direct contribution from learning to the business. That's how we are trying to measure it. I just thought of adding it to.
No, that's a very good value add, Ritu, and very relevant. So, as Herschel was also saying, linking it to dollar value, and you're saying deployment, they're deployment ready. I would also say, couple of, I'd also like to add a couple of case studies of what we have seen at Rabbitt, while working with almost 120 companies for the past decade. Uh, Sorry, if someone can go on mute, I guess there is a bit of echo. Yeah. So thank you. So yeah, so I was saying what we have seen in the world by dealing with a lot of leaders like you. I'll also like to share a framework which we're also publishing in the Singapore Summit, which is happening on 28th May. And this is where a lot of HR leaders and L&D leaders we spoke to. So we understood what are the problems. As I said, the bucket which is there, how to start, how to engage, and how to measure. Right, I guess the insights we covered. If I'll share a couple of insights from our side and a couple of learnings which we have seen. So we interviewed almost 400 enterprises and more than 1,000 leaders, and 75% of people said the biggest problem is where to start. Right, so where to start is because here there are three multi variables. If we say number one, you don't know the starting point of people right now. Then, because of changing marketing dynamics, the end point, where do you want to take them? As Herschel, you were saying, is it wise to invest? What are you investing for? And third is the journey, because the journey is also very different for them. For example, funny, as you were mentioning, the learning style. Somebody want to learn in a Socratic manner, somebody self-paced, somebody classroom line. So that was one of the biggest areas which we thought that AI could kind of reinvent. So what we also created, we created a framework which is called as FAIR, FAIRE, Fundamental AI Readiness Evaluation. So basically, FAIR is a agentic AI assessment itself, which does takes into it's trained over a data of more than 1 million people and more than 200 plus skills, where it customizes the assessment basis 5 parameters: your role, your geography, your industry, your years of experience, and your organizational KPIs. So for example, if you want to measure your all DevOps engineers in the 5 to 8 year experience range, with demand to that they are based in India, right? They're 5 to 8 year experience in DevOps role, majorly deployed in client projects. And if you input all these 5 parameters, right, and what are the market standards for the past 5 years, next, right now, what are the skills in the DevOps which they should be aware, and what are the AI powered tools they should be aware of, and what is the AI fundamental they should be aware of. So using ABCDA, we call it ABCDA, which is A aptitude, B behavioral, C cognitive, D domain, and A AI proficiency. So ABCDA entire framework, these 5 parameters which we said basis their customization, and five.
Are you sharing something on the screen?
No, I'm not sharing. I was just speaking it out.
Okay.
But maybe Hiten, you can also share that. There's a platform also will show you. So I was first giving the context, and then we can also share this. So aptitude, behavioral, cognitive, domain, and then again AI fluency. So fair assessment just tags that. So Yuvika or Trisha, if you're there, so if you can share that, magazine or PPT, and then the portal, if it can help the panelists while I'm speaking it out. Yeah, so they'll bring it up. So this ABCDA framework customizes the fair assessment for every employee at leadership level. So there are bands which is 10 plus years, then 5 to 8, then the 3 to 5, or basis that the assessment gets customized. It's an agentic AI assessment which runs basis your own skills and gives you a snapshot of your current readiness of all your employees, right, in a very first principle manner. Now, there is a second option in this where you can integrate their current skills and proof of skill. For example, if somebody has worked on a client project, so that can be put as a proof of skill over there. AI automatically conducts an evaluation and validates whether that person has done it or not. If they are having a LinkedIn or Coursera certification, that can also be accommodated. So basically, it becomes a single platform where somebody is having a LinkedIn certification, Coursera certification, previous employer certification, TechM certification. All that comes into one platform, and from there, they tell you the entire AI readiness of your platform. So Hiten, if you can just open the command center and showcase that. So how that showcases. So I hope my screen is visible, right? So somewhat like this is on the platform. This is a demo data from one of the organizations, of course, MAST. So they have the people in Mumbai, Singapore, London, New York. This is in fintech company, right? A trading company, which is one of our customers. Of course, names hidden for confidentiality purpose, and data also changed, right? So this is how a command center is created, where all your employees in various locations and what is their current skill level on various parameters comes in one single dashboard. And this is an agentic dashboard, not a SaaS dashboard. That means it keeps on changing every few hours and it keeps on updating as a command. That's why we call it command center. Just like you're observing your cloud, you're observing your cybersecurity, you can observe the current level of your employees. So whatever people are there and what office people, as of today, what skills they are ready on. So to measure the readiness, there are 4 ways, as I said. One is our fundamental AI readiness evaluation assessment, which is there, which is live. Second is an AI interview, which AI does a conversation with the people. Third is their past certifications like Coursera, LinkedIn, all the certifications are integrated with the platform itself of Rabbitt Learning's platform, which they can upload. We can fetch over here once someone signs in with their Azure or AWS, accounts with us. And fourth is the proof of work. For example, if someone is an 8-year-old employee, they might not have a formal certification, but we have a mechanism where I'll not go into much detail. Maybe we can connect offline for that. But there's a proof of work which can get accounted. And eventually there is an entire command center created for every employee. And then if you go to the skills dashboard, Hiten, overall dashboard. So basically, then you have an entire skills ontology in real time, right? With combining from these four parameters, the assessment, the interview, past work, and past certifications coming from any platform. So it's like learn anywhere, measure here, monitor here. So this gets as a command center for all your departments, and then you can go into every single employee. Now, the biggest USP which we have added over here, there's an AI agent on the last where you can chat anything and you can ask about any employee by name of your organization, and you can get all the details about themselves rooted in their most latest certification, their courses, their CV and all. Or you can ask about a particular department. For example, you can ask top AWS certified professionals who are actively working. So right now it will give you this kind of analysis because it's a RAG based agent which is rooted to real data of your organization and gives you one click command center that you can deploy people for your clients. You can check what is their current readiness and what needs to be done. So this is all the first part, which is monitoring, which consists of assessments. And this is not just for AI. We have inbuilt assessment integration where you can check for, coding, live projects, agentic AI, whether so you are giving ChatGPT enterprise licenses to people or any of those such people, but have people been really capable to build agents? Can they use agents? So Rabbitt's platform is there where there's a sandbox environment. They can build agents, test their agents, and all that data is captured automatically over here, which is a command center, or we call it an ESI. ESI is Employee Skill Intelligence Platform. So all the skill intelligence you get from here. Now, after the command center is done, you go to org readiness at an organization level. So there you can, if you see on the top, you can add mandates, right? If you have a mandate that I want to train all my people on agentic AI, our AI tool will automatically fetch out the best tools, the most in-demand skills which are required, create a plan for you. Now you can say ChatGPT or Perplexity can do that for you. Yes, but it takes into consideration all these 5 parameters which we've mentioned. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude is the backend part of it, but that is 20% of it. Remaining 80% of the data is coming from, the real industry authority reports, proprietary data, and your organization data. So, and then the training plan it generates is for where your current department is, where your current people are from there. So if I want to train people on agentic AI, agentic readiness, let's say there's a 100-employee organization. So let's say 24 of them already are very much trained on prompt engineering. So I don't need to train them on prompt engineering, and I'll probably train them on MCP and stateful agents, right? Versus the other organization where they don't know about prompt engineering, right? They don't know about analytics. So first I'll train them on data and analytics and basic ML, and then take them through agentic AI. So basically the training programs can't be one size fit all. So we were thinking really hard for the past 10 years and all. We already had an LMS for the past 10, 12 years, but this LXP or Enterprise Skills Intelligence platform has been built in the past 2 years with support from a lot of industry experts like you, right? And it's still improving. We are happy to onboard some of you as an advisors to, make it even better. But this is currently used by 120 organizations globally, and more than, 10 lakh people, more than 1 million employees are onboarded on the platform. So it tells you the current readiness. After that, if you go to second step, so I was there, if I go back, and a mandate. So mandate is I want to train my HR team on GDPR. Mandate could be I want to train my tech team or overall organization on agentic readiness. Mandate could be I want to train my AI team for sales. Sorry, my sales team for AI tools. So you can create mandates over here and check your organizational readiness in real time. After creating a mandate, let's say we go to agentic readiness. So it tells you that data engineering, product, HR, and sales teams, these are the departments which have been created. So what is their readiness? What was the assessment which was conducted for that? So that is the second step. And diagnosis. So these are the assessments which have been conducted. Diagnosis shows you that where you are stuck, and once you go in detail, you can go individual, person wise as well. And after that, there's a learning plan snapshot which is there that typically decides for your organization that you should have these 5 courses or these 5 modes of learning that bases whatever agentic AI readiness requires in the market, and what is the current skill level of your 100 employees or 2000 employees or 20,000 employees. You need to have these 5 courses. Let's say introduction to LLM and agents, prompt engineering mastery, building with LangChain, responsible AI and governance, and RAG architecture deep dive. These are the recommended for you. And within that, it also suggests the best way of doing those. For example, course, LLM and agents course, prompt engineering, it should be a workshop, right? LangChain should be a hands-on lab. So that kind of recommendations also gives, and not just it gives, just it gives all that content also it creates or sources from the platform, or content can be done from outside as well. So after the learning plan, it then again captures the entire closure. So that is how to start and how to engage. On the engagement side, on the employee side, they get a dashboard, they get a, the gamification is there, and where there's micro learning happening. And for the engagement, we say that, see, engagement happens, I have this philosophy. See, if you are teaching someone cybersecurity in a regular mode versus when their phone is hacked, right? And you teach them just in time that this is the way you can probably unlock it. This is two-factor authentication. This is how you can prevent your LinkedIn ID from getting hacked. So that is the best form of learning. Without feeling hungry, how can you make someone consume the food, right? So without feeling hungry, you can, even if you put the best of food items in front of the people, they'll never consume it, right? So the second step of the tool, it generates hunger in people. So it creates that kind of scenarios, gamifications where people are stuck. So there are challenges, not trainings, not real assessments. So it creates AI assessments where people are stuck. So this is a problem you're facing in your sales. So that kind of scenario-based assessments, real-world, outcome-oriented and immersive assessments in the AI playground of the platform can be done. If you can move to that part. Okay, sorry, before moving to that, I'll also show you training and gaps and matchmaker. So if you want to do some internal, training and gaps, it tells you. And if you want to do some internal movements of people and matchmaking between a new role and other organizations. So there also, this particular platform can only suggest you the right kind of people, right? So it can happen that you want to make an internal movement. So you can find people. So this acts your HR buddy or HR co-pilot, which recommends you the right kind of people. So these all capabilities are there in the enterprise skills assessment platform, person-wise, department-wise training, certification recommendations, and an entire learning plan for that. So this is enterprise skills intelligence platform. Second one, which is integrated in this, is a playground where people can play whatever they can learn from anywhere. They can play and build agents or build assessments. So the assessments are created in real time. You don't have to feed anything. You just need to tell that, okay, we are testing people on agentic AI. We're testing people on DevOps. We're testing people on data analytics. We're testing people on Indian income tax laws. We're testing people on negotiation skills. So our AI tool, we have some inbuilt scenarios. There is open source library and some closed door scenarios, which people can practice and showcase their capability, that are they able to solve this problem. So this is an entire gamified assessment thing, which is very much linked to real world assessments, like this thing is hacked, now a cybersecurity comes into picture. This code is written, this is not working, now you go ahead and solve it. And this is provisioned. The problem with the earlier assessment platforms is it is only used one time for hiring or provisioned on the ask of this thing. This is provisioned in a self-learning mode because the technology and that kind of possibility is there right now. So we built that tool where when an employee or when a department wants, they themselves can provision such assessments for them, take their team or themselves to a sync of challenges, and after these challenges they can actually call them, because they learn it, they get real world skills, they can call themselves that they are qualified for that. And not just, it's not evaluation, we don't position it as an evaluation platform, because evaluation is one time, learning is lifetime, right? So this is more of a learning and improving platform. So we have a AI assistant over here, which is Bunny AI by Rabbitt, which keeps on telling them that, oh, you written the code this way, you could have written it that way as well. These are more problems you can try for that, and it goes in a very non-intrusive manner where nobody is evaluating them, but it is helping them to learn. For example, I hire Rabbit. Now, Rabbit AI today is 500 people company across London, India. We hire a lot of almost 40 to 50 engineers every quarter. Very small compared to the size of your companies, but still it is a task for me as a chief AI officer to train all of them in all the skills. So that's why we ate our own dog food. We built it for them that first 1 month just get up to speed by doing enough number of challenges on the platform, and so that when you come to my production, my client side things, तब आप आके ये मत पूछो कि गिट में पुश कैसे करना है, पीआर मर्ज कैसे करना है, राइट? वी हैव नेवर डन डेवऑप्स, वी आर अ डेवलपर, we don't know UI, we don't know how this will happen, we don't know domain configuration, we don't know what is DNS. So all those real world skills are missing when people join from college, or sometimes even at a 3, 4, 5 year experience level as well. So at junior level, we have very intensive challenges where everybody can attempt them from their mobile or from their laptop, get ready and give a proof to their organization that this is done. So this is how the entire AI playground of Rabbitt AI works. We're showing for technical, but we have for sales, for marketing, for a lot of other departments as well. That is how to measure. And then that is how to engage. And if we move to the final part, which is how to measure. So the assessments, as I said, the assessments we have. So Hiten, if you can move to the voice AI interview part, that is there. So we have integrated our own voice AI interviews, or more of an evaluation, where just by prompting, you can create thousands of scenarios over here. And this bunny AI talks to people and understands their current readiness after the training, right? So it works as a voice AI assessment platform for them as well as training platform for them. So basis the job roles, basis the JDs. So it's already trained on 2,000 skills and 200 plus different job roles already, pre-trained. So no chance of hallucination. Unlike ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is not only for skilling and education, they have a bigger purpose to solve. We are very fine-tuned for education, learning, and skilling side, right? Although we are partners with ChatGPT, we're very fine-tuned for this particular thing. So we have already created, for the past 15 years, we have been running a learning and development company, right? So we have a lot of data, domain data from that organization. We have built a lot of content. So all that content is inbuilt, and basis that domain knowledge, tribal knowledge, content, these kind of interviews are trained. So voice technology is commoditized, as you all know, you come from technology background. But the brain behind this, Rabbitt's SLM, which empowers these interviews and conversations, and then tells you that how everyone is feeling about the training or the learning plan and what is their current problem. So it talks to everyone every week during the training program or every day, gets all that multimodal input, transforms it into transcripts, analyzes it, and finally builds into the skill profile and the asks of every employee. So at the end of a month, as an L&D head, you get a cumulative summary of 60% of my employees are wanting to learn prompt engineering in this manner. 40% of my employees enjoyed the last prompt engineering mastery training. 30% of my employees, even after going through training, still feel very uncomfortable in dealing with clients. They are developers, but at least they can't manage crisis time or stuff like that. So these kind of subjective insights, which we also don't even know what AI will bring in, but we think of it, we just release our army of agents inside the organization in a controlled manner to capture every feedback. All that this data remains on-prem, right? All this data remains on-prem. And then the people tell their problems or their current skill level. It can be used for evaluation and feedback both. And again, all that data is again passed back to the enterprise skills intelligence platform and AI playground, which we have. And combined together, the Rabbitt intelligence gives you entire learning journey every single day about particular employee, department, or program. And the last thing, if I'll say, so this has been built with, again, the support of all the people, and it's entirely customizable. The journey is entirely customizable for every organization because it is agentic platform. And it's also as per the usage, right? This is not like a SaaS seat thing. It's as per the usage, how much you use it, how you improve it. It only gets kicked in or charged for that. And apart from that, we also kind of have a pool of industry trainers and experts along with the platform or part of the community who also come and reinforce these things in person, because we also believe there's no replacement for human connection. You still require classroom sessions, even after having all the gamification, blended learning, micro learning, which happens on the platform or other platforms. You still require human touch. So that is where we also bring in a lot of industry experts to take in-person classes there as well. So happy to get your feedbacks and happy to ask any other, if you have any other questions specifically on the AI journey and where it could fit in. And would love to see, how we can join hands in the AI workforce transformation journey altogether. Yeah. I'm not playing this interview because I guess that is pretty much, you understand how a voice AI interview thing is there. I'm not playing it right now. Could share it offline. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Shiva. So any questions, any feedbacks, any criticism, very much welcome, because we're still building. We want to build a world class. Somebody mentioned cornerstone, right? So yes, it's a global standard or built in the past world, software world. So we have an application that we built from India for long, right? And build a world class product. And one problem with the softwares of yesterday, I guess will agree to that, is they built to increase the workload of the people, right? You get a Salesforce and you need 50 developers or people to manage it. You get a platform and then you need people trained on that to manage it. And that was the only possible over there. But I believe softwares of tomorrow will be built where it will not increase the workload of people, rather reduce the workload of people. It will be more and more will give more and more convenience to people. So yeah. So happy to get your insights or your questions on this. So we used to call ITS cottage industry. Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could definitely.
No, they create a problem and they create another industry to solve the problem. So they create a cycle. So our CXO was very pissed off at that, and he gave a what do you call it, direction that we need to move away from the cottage industry type of IT, and we do a real time type of an IT. So that's where the mindset change came in. Yeah.
And I guess with AI, when now it is possible to even wipe code an entire CRM like a HubSpot or Salesforce within few weeks, and testing and making it ready within few months, that is a possibility. So I guess the entire thinking and mindset has to change. I go to very beginning where I said that we're having wheels, but still most of the people are setting still on a horse, but showing wheels as an AI powered thing. But what AI can really be used is to reimagine the entire journey. For example, personalized learning at scale was never a reality till last 3 4 5 years. But today can be there. You can have an agent which captures the problems of every person. For example, right now I'm a moderator here. I can, while I'm talking to Funny, I cannot talk to Ritu, right? So some thoughts might be going in Ritu's minds as well, right? And as a person, there's a limitation. As a trainer, there's a limitation. But with AI, each one of them can speak to them. All the thoughts are synthesized. All the ideas, opinions can be collaborated, and learning can be passed also. So two-way learning can happen with this technology, which can understand like humans. We're still very early in that. We're still yet to see the personal agents, which Elon Musk and all these guys are saying. But I believe we are in very interesting times, that where AI can reinvent. We don't know the future yet, but it's for sure will be very different from what we see today.
So
I
Hi, Mr. Herschel. Yeah.
yeah, just a point. Some interesting discussion happened a few days ago with one of the employee, and then I was a professor earlier, so I was just telling. So his point was, he is a manager, senior person, and he was telling that it is killing the thinking ability of the new generation. So Gen Zs are like, born native AI people, and they want everything, on the gadget. And what will happen in future? Now we are still managing what would happen. And I said, yeah, I think that's a scenario. And then I was telling that as a institute level now, have to adopt. So all the professors, teachers, they have to adopt. We cannot stop students from using AI. However, they should ensure that they use AI and make them explain what they have used AI for. For example, an assignment will be given asking student use any LLM of your choice, come back and have a viva and focus more on the thought and asking them to explain. So just wanted to tell that maybe all of us have to worry, and we were talking about the Gen Zs And I'm really worried about what would happen in future with all the things coming handy on the mobile.
Sure. I guess that's a right question to ask, and that's also the responsibility of us as leaders. I see it, I gave an analogy, Harshal, I'll quickly share. So it's like when we were born, probably cars were not that mainstream, right? When we were kids. But today, as kids, cars are mainstream. Every household has it. So cycles are not that mainstream, right? I used to go to my school via cycle as well. I remember that. I don't think any kid today does that, right? Apart from some exceptions for fitness purpose or being cool. But we used to do as a mandate, right? The cycle was the only option that we could afford and we could see. But does that mean availability of car can despair your walking capability or cycling capability? The answer is yes, if not used wisely. If you use car every time, you keep on sitting every time, you'll not walk for maybe 1 year, 2 year, maybe you'll forget how to walk. So same thing with AI coming in, I'll say, see with industrial revolution coming in, there is advent of gyms. With AI coming in, there will be advent of mental gyms. कि आप दिमाग यूज ही नहीं कर रहे हो 40 घंटे हफ्ते में काम कर रहे हो दिमाग यूज नहीं कर रहे हो so your mind can go numb, this thinking capability can go numb. So maybe
Absolutely.
people will have different places to go to mental gym. I'll do some thinking over here, I'll do use some
This is wonderful. This
maybe
is wonderful
that's
thought
the
process.
business side. Yeah. So to summarize, I guess, okay, Mr. Anand has a point. So I'll just last 2 minutes, we'll just close it for everyone. I guess we are on the time 1:59. We're 1 minute away from closing it. So go to each one of you, maybe one line summary of what do you think AI is. It could be comical, it could be sarcasm, it could be funny, it could be serious. That I think AI is this dash, whatever. In one line, if you can just give your thoughts basis this, and then we'll maybe call it a day. And yeah, maybe we can start with Mr. Anand. He has to say something, and then you can give your closing notes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Harneet. First of all, I would like to because it has been a fantastic, experience today. Just wanted to add on the bit that the one of the feature in your platform was quite exciting, which is the AI agent sandbox. And I think we as an organization also, and I as in person, strongly believe that doing is the new way of learning. There's no other way of learning than doing that gives that opportunity. And we also in our organization actually, as I said, we have our own LLM and agentic, the AI tool, and we actually give our employees a lot of space to create their own agents, try it, etc., etc. We have a governance model where they try at the, let's say, country level or the function level, and then qualify. We qualify them, and then finally, it gets approved by a council and gets published as a use case to be, scaled up, etc. So, and in last 1 year, 1.5 year, we have almost around 60 plus, use cases, which is now globally available for people to use. So, so that's fantastic. I think that was a good feature. That was my point I wanted to say. Your one line, concluding line is, I think, probably in my understanding, AI is the one technology or the next tech shift, which will probably stay and will not skip like many other technology, which comes and skips at times. So that's my take.
Yeah, AI has a long way. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Funny, your one line.
Yeah, probably we should look at it as a supersonic jet that's capable of taking you from where you are to where you want to go very quickly. But then eventually it has to be taken care of by a pilot, which is a human.
Lovely. Supersonic jet by a pilot, which is human. Lovely. Ritu?
Yeah, so for me, I would say AI is extremely powerful. It's our present, it's our future. So we should be welcoming it and using it,
And
start
controlling.
using it as early as possible. And after all, and everywhere it is used as the term used as for AI is like a smart intern, and we should know how to give and guide the intern to do the best of the work.
Lovely. Vishal?
Okay. Everybody right now is using AI as, ask immediately. You have anything? Go to AI, ask immediately. I think what we need to be doing is using AI as a augmented intelligence AI. So, use it to get some data, to get some analysis, and then apply your human judgment on top of it. And this is something which we'll have to teach all our employees also. So, use AI as augmented intelligence, and then it should help you in your business outcomes as well.
Okay. Maybe it gives us a topic for our next panel, from artificial intelligence to augmented intelligence. Yeah, with Vishal being the keynote speaker.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay, that's good. Siva?
So AI cannot replace leaders, but leaders who what do you call embrace AI or who leverage AI will replace those who don't. So that is what I thought I could share. Yeah.
Lovely. And who's remaining? Like Harshal? Yes.
Yeah. So I call AI as a partner, and like in all our stages of life, right from childhood, we have a best friend. Then we get married, we have a spouse. We may start a business as a business partner. AI is a partner. Uh, we have to live with our partner, manage it, and take it towards the end of the life.
Handle
We have to live.
its nakhre as well and costs as well.
Handle with care.
Handle with care. Lovely, lovely. I guess a wonderful group. Lovely meeting all of you, and I believe this. All of you are meeting each other for the first time, or some people knew each other.
First time.
I think first
We
time.
we are really amplifying human connections in the age of AI. We can say that. So, would love to meet all of you. As a closing note, we are anyone of you in Bangalore or near Bangalore? Okay, so we are conducting. I'm also personally traveling to Bangalore, and we're conducting on 29th of March at IIT Alumni Center. Sandra team can share the details. We are having a physical meetup of a lot of GCC leaders, so 100 leaders. So if you want to come down, and work with people, or want to be a speaker at that event as well, physically, if that allows, 29th of March, morning 10 to 5 is the time. We can figure out the slot. Would love to have all of you interact in person with the larger community as well. Would love to personally meet all of you as well, so people who can make it to Bangalore. And then we are having in Delhi and Singapore as well. So we are meeting for the first time, but I hope it's not the last time. We keep meeting, keep engaging, and would love to have you as part of our larger international panels as well. And would love to see if some of you can help us improve the product as well. And if you want to try it out, happy to give a trial, happy to give a demo, happy to arrange demos with the team. So thanks a lot for adding really, I'll say, diamonds of wisdom. But specifically this, I guess this is a very, very needed conversation today. And I'm glad it did not turn out to be a journalistic kind of thing where we are chasing trends and all. We did not answer or ask questions, can replace jobs or not, which is a very good statement, I think, because people are stuck over there. Rather, we discussed real strategies of skilling people, making people ready, what is working, what is not working, learning by doing. I guess I'm grateful to everyone. Funny sharing his case study of how Infosys Springboard, Wingspan, and how you are making people ready in-house. Anand sharing his journey and his case study of giving people the co-pilot and your internal tool for trying. And then Harshal also, you sharing learning by doing is the theme, I guess. Vishal sharing case study of people coming from real estate industry, identifying use cases of AI. Ritu coming and sharing her case studies of white belt and making all the engineers AI ready. Shiva sharing his case study of how Ford is kind of leading this revolution with an entire AI GCP data center and how they are looking at people and people skilling. So I believe really, really nuggets of wisdom. Will love to have these sessions in the future as well. And thanks a lot from the bottom of my heart for coming here. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
Thank
making
you
this
very
session
much.
interesting.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Amit.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for the wisdom.
Bye.
Thank you, Yuvika. Special thanks to Yuvika for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Yuvika and team.
Thanks, Yuvika.
It was a pleasure organizing this. And thank you all for joining. Looking forward to future collaborations as well.